Okay, I
This
made it.
meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, I will share my screen, sir. Yes, sir. Is it screen visible, sir?
Yes, yes,
Uh,
sir.
okay. Yeah, thank you, Saji. Yes, a very warm welcome to all. Would like to introduce my research guide, Dr. D.N. Ganjewar, sir, Principal, Parladi Dalmia Lions College of Commerce and Economics, Malad West, Mumbai. Formerly Professor and Head Department of English, Arts and Commerce Science College, Killed, Dharur. Also, I would like to thanks course coordinator Dr. Mehrunnisa Pathan madam. This presentation is a part of pre-PhD course, and today's my topic I'm going to highlight a feminist matrix in the fiction of Malti Rao's selected novel The Bridge and Disorderly Women. So let us move to the presentation. Yes, introduction of the topic. There would be a critical analysis of the selected English novels from the perspective of feminist matrix. The writers in the post-independent era have very realistically depicted a feminist perspective. So here we are, I'm just going to analyze a feminist psyche or feminist point of view and their pain and the suffering what after the post-independent period the women faced. So the plight of women in their literature to pursue the feminist matrix, it is very important or essential we should know first what is feminism in brief. So feminist criticism that is begin with the feminism is actually a set of influential line or the inquiry inspired by the growth of the new feminism since 1960s. It aims at recovering and reassessing the women writers, evaluating the female images as portrayed by the male authors, analyzing the sexism, gender, privilege in language, and devoting a body of literature, criticism, etc. Yes, about the feminist matrix, as the topic is feminist matrix. So feminist matrix and history and development. So let us understand what is this feminist matrix. Feminist matrix traces the evaluation of the feminist thoughts and its multifaceted impact on society, uh, politics, and culture from its embryonic stages in the late 18th century, where the figures like Mary Wollstonecraft champion women's intellectual capabilities, to the explosive about the second wave of the post-war era and the challenged societal norms onto the third wave, which is embarrass intersectionality. Feminism has been a dynamic and transformative force, and this matrix not only underscores the moment progression but also its adaptability as it's continuously intersects with various global moments adapted to the changing of social, political landscape and amplifies voices from the diverse background and experiences. Yes, let us understand the feminism term with the various waves. As we know, the feminism today, we know the only concept, but how it is being developed. What are the root of this feminism? So it takes us to the 18th and early 20th century. These are the initial stages where the feminism thoughts or activism primarily developed. So it is divided into the certain waves, like a first wave, which is mentioned 19th to early 20th century. This phase focused primarily uh, securing the legal rights for women, particularly suffrage, and especially the right of vote. So one can understand that in first phase of the women, first wave of the feminism, the women advocate for their rights, that is the right to vote. In the second wave, it is mentioned the duration 1960 to 1980, building upon the achievements of the first wave. Second wave feminism focus on the broader range of issues, including the reproductive right, workplace equality, addressing the systematic sexism in various aspects of the society, etc. The third wave feminism, that is 1990 to early 2000, which is highlighting the women's experiences incorporating perspectives from marginalized group such as a women of color, LGBTQ plus individuals, and those from the different socio-economic backgrounds. Emphasize critics and the limitations of the earliest feminist movement in the all women. Yes, fourth wave, that is mid 2000 to the present, it is mentioned feminism characterized by the intersection with the digital technology as well as social media, how the women's are focused, how the women's are presented. We can say the creation of the advertisement and the visualization of the women, okay, as a part of the advertisement, how they were picturized, either maybe a weak or the victimized or the helpless completely. So it is highlighting the same, the fourth wave. Also, it is pointing out about the online harassment, addressing issues, gender-based violence, advocating for a greater inclusivity and representation in various spheres of the society. This phase is also emphasize the importance of amplifying the diverse voices and experiences. Then also we can say that the fifth wave is almost started, which is technological advancement and their impact of on gender equality, intersectionality and inclusivity, environmental justice, feminist solidarity and activism, Me Too movement. All these are the part of the fifth phases. Now, the types of feminism, to understand the feminist matrix, as we are going to study the Malti Rao and her two special novel, that is Bridge and Disorderly Women. So it is very essential that we should know what are the various feminism types. So liberal feminism, the first type, which is highlighting about the gender equality through a legal political reform which is existing social structures. It focuses on the issues such as equal pay, reproductive right, women's representation in government leadership and position. The second type, that is a radical feminism, seeks to the dismantle patriarchy, that is a male dominated system, by challenges the root causes of the gender inequality. It often criticizes the traditional gender roles, institutions, and systems of power, advocating for a fundamental and social transformation. The third type, that is the social or Marxist feminism, which is highlighting and analyzing the gender oppression within the context of the capitalism and class struggle. It highlights the intersection of gender, class, and other forms of oppression, advocating for economic justice and collective ownership of resources. Black feminism centers the experiences and struggle of Black women. As we know that there is a class and caste conflict. Okay, in Western countries there was a uh, conflict about the black and white, and this black feminism, might be we have gone through the Toni Morrison and Beloved, the novel Beloved. So these are the good example which is highlighting very deeply how the black feminism and their struggle with the white, it is equal pointed out. It is criticizing the mainstream feminism for its historical exclusion of black women and emphasizes the importance of addressing racism and other form of systematic oppression. Ecofeminism, which is highlighting or connecting between the environmental degradation and the oppression of the women. It highlights the way in which partial structure contribute to the both ecological and destruction and the subjugation of women, advocating for environmental sustainability and gender equality. So all these are the basic important points related to the feminist matrix. Now coming to the author, which I'm going to explain her two special novel critically going to be analyzed. That is Padmavati Rao, a short introduction about the writer. Padmavati Rao, Malti Rao. She's an Indian writer born in April 1913, Bangalore, Karnataka to Chennagiri. Padma Barao, she is the eldest of five sisters. She has an older brother, two younger brothers. As a young girl, Rao was inspired by the work of Jane Austen, Bronte sisters, and Lucia May Alcott, among the others. She always had a penchant for writing and pursued English literature at Bangalore and Mysore universities. Through her literary work, she raised the queries of long-lasting dominant male phonocentric ideologies. Here we can get the gist of her writing. Okay, Malti Rao's gist of writing, that is her impact, phonocentric ideologies of patriarchal attitudes. She also tried to identify the recurrent images of women in literature by a men. So how the men handle or the portrayed the female characters, which are often discussed into the dual pattern on the one side, considering women as an idols to be praised, and on the other hand as merely the puppet of men carnal desire. So here she picturized the character of women. On the one hand we consider the women as an idol, and on the other hand she become the puppet of the men's carnal desire. So that is the gist of Malti Rao's writing work. Her notable works are The Bridge, Banaras, where the Ganga flows, Come and Have a Coffee Please, and her novel Disorderly Women. In 2007, she was awarded for a Sahitya Academy Award presented by the Honorable President of India. So these are the some notable work written by Malti Rao. So let us analyze her novel, The Bridge. Yes, Bridge by Malti Rao. The novel narrates the condition of female after the post-independence era. The narrator has an access to the thought and feeling of the characters described through the pen picture, which gave the shape her characters and helps the reader to understand their psyche. So in this novel, Malti Rao portrayed very beautiful characters like Kumar, then Kumar's wife Tara, Murari, who is Murari and Tara, husband and wife. Kumar is the nephew of the Murari, and the entire story deals with one object she will mention here, that is a bridge. So, by profession, the protagonist character of this story, Murari, who is a contractor and who is trying to get the contract of this Kanya bridge. Okay, he wants to get a contract, but the story begins with to get the contract and the ends with the contract. But meanwhile, the word metaphorical word, this bridge is connecting the people to people, their emotions and their psyches, their relationships. All these things are highlighted by the Malti Rao with the beautifully. Malti Rao realistically depicts it post independent era feminist perspective and plight of women in.
This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry, it was interrupted in meanwhile. Once again, I will share my screen presentation. Yes, now it is visible. The novel thus became Disorderly Women. The novel Disorderly Women is also narrating the stories of four women, Kamla, Venukabai, Rukmini, and Illa. These are the four women who are personally connected with each other by relation and by destiny. We can say the both. Both the all the four women are narrating the story of post-independent era. Venukabai, who is the Venukabai's daughter, is Kamla. Rukmini is the daughter-in-law of Venukabai. Rukmini, Illa is the mother. Rukmini is the daughter of Illa is the daughter of Rukmini. So like this, these four women are interconnected with each other by relation and by the destiny. And it is mentioned how Kamla's marriage become fail and how she become helplessness and all this. Whereas Illa is presented as a very modern woman, modern girl who just gone through the stories of her ancestor. Venukabai, who is a very traditional woman, it is mentioned, and Rukmini's story from the childhood. Since from the childhood, she has been taught to treat her husband as a god. So, like this, these four women again, Malti Rao touch with the feminism and their pain and their agony, suffering, loneliness, marriage failure, extramarital affairs, the generation gaps, two generation thinking, we will say that all these things are very brilliantly pointed out in this single novel by the Malti Rao. So thus the novel, sorry, thus the novel, we can say the novel by Malti Rao diverges in the narrative and thematic explorations, share a common thread around the feminist perspective, social realism, cultural and societal and cultural realism, shedding the light on the nuisance experience of their characters in unique and social cultural environments. Through their writing, the author not only challenges the conventional norms and societal expectation, but also offer insights into the shifting of dynamic gender identity and social structures, societal structures in the modern world. Each story is a reflection of its era, capturing the zest and the revealing the author's perspective, understanding of their worlds. Malti Rao's works explore intricate familial and social relationships within the Indian and cultural milieu. So this is all about this two different novel of the author. I tried to analyze from the feminist matrix, feminist perspective point of view of these two novels. These are the some primary and secondary references I have referred. Okay, so thank you one and all for thank you Mr. Ganjiwar sir for giving me the precious time. Thank you Pathan ma'am. Thank you all of you for listening me. Uh, I would like now I'll declare the session is over. Uh, may I conclude it, Ganjiwar sir? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone.